But my main kwa homa no so na mene J Hyde, Isaac J Hyde, or yeah, NUGS president, National Union of Ghana Students. Mene no entwetwe nkomo emfa development akoso ewo GIJ. Mr. Hyde, me ma kwa eba happy morning show no so anope.
Before that. Hello.
Mr. Hyde.
Yes, sir. Mpacho Tuminka.
Yeah, me tunka. Ena yensa ka mu release mo de buy efa nsema na ekoso ewo GIJ ho hanum, and your concerns were expressly stated in that letter no, and you made mention of the fact say na money school no authorities no be kwa twetwe nkomo afa ways mo betumi a resolve ampas no. Ena school no e the release by granting amnesty to students no. Ma membesa na NUGS mu role ewo decision e buy no etisen.
Well, me don't see first of all, my clarity. Also, just like anyone else, National Union of Ghana students, Tuesday, and I think information Richie and some concerning the release of management the buy. And the following day, Wednesday, and together with other stakeholders, and let me see, and we can't other stakeholders. I was a man for say how NUGS operates. NUGS need direct access to campuses. Now, you say your local representatives from SRC. From SRC, no, na school no ever belonging to a block. And for instance, Legon, for instance, or more belonging to University Students Association of Ghana because more university. GIJ a professional school, and the more another block I from Ghana Union of Professional Students. And then, of course, based on the schools of Ghana, any of designation, any blocks are more belonging to. And so, in view of that, no, we could share paying for no their new campus as at the time I drew no na police are calling off. In fact, we tried to get access to management, but in the scheme of events, no na difficult. And the movie called the main campus Ringway, the old campus Ringway.
Yeah.
In fact, you could draw no, you could meet the various student leaders are more involved with the issues because. Yeah, as national body, no information, no, it not come to us that problem this are never. You would think it out never say in teaching, same no ye, senior bear, ye come ye go who send ye come. In fact, we had alternative means because beyond the demonstrations, no, now plan B, it should engagement fail. Now I was a young cohort because looking at the number of students involved, we were between 80 to 100 students. And we're looking at engaging management. But the alternative was that should management fail to or heed to our call, what would the alternative? I was saying court, so that we'll probably seek an injunction to buy us enough time in order to engage. In fact, as at that time, now I scheduled for a press conference on Thursday morning at the International Press Center. Now, out of that press, we're going to touch on a number of things based on the release, any flyers that you issue. Now you're talking about GIJ and some but after engaging the students, you will say there could be a way we could engage management to find an amicable solution to this problem. And you suspend the press conference because it wouldn't be appropriate. Say we are taking steps to engage management behind the scenes, and at the same time, now you call to the press. So in fact, we changed the press time to 12 o'clock, by which time would have given us ample time for us to engage management before going to the press. Between Tuesday evening throughout Wednesday, between Wednesday all the way into Thursday, it was full of engagement. I mean, some of these engagements in Kofobe are more involved, any the relevant institutions or more into me or one thing, but it involved persons at the ministry. I mean, persons of influence, security services, any account, and engage almost the situation at hand. Fortunately, by Thursday, you could share management, management sounds so share students for them because you see, there has to be a point of contact. Now, your core campus, there were a lot of splinter groups. For instance, there were a group called Concerned Students. I mean, they have been fantastic because they have assumed a pseudo students led position. And then, of course, there was also another group, interim management committee and management. They are two as at the time. They were also involved with the process. And then, of course, a number of other student leaders are more interest or accept no more. But it must also be stated, normally, every campus for SRC, but GIJ, because of COVID, at the time of this issue, no money student representative council. In fact, the more reason why Assembly AC, because normally student representative council will be part of the council of the school. And to be beside bar, management then engage you more, then you want casa, then they will have a fair idea. They could mobilize their people, go to General Assembly, then they can engage management. But because the structures were not really firm as at the time, and nothing but our backdoor engagements really leveled the ground. As at the time of meeting management yesterday, a lot of things had gone through. In fact, the local leadership of the Graduate Student Association of Ghana of GIJ, they were also very much involved. Truth of the matter is that going to meet management, and yeah, about who is right or who is wrong, but to admit, sir, indeed, when you go to school, Obia want a role I'll play. I will say management and I say administration and providing lectures on better students ideas. So students' exams are also more young results. Students are studying something they say, almost go school better school fees. Beyond the timelines they are meeting in now, you're strong. And a chopper more through our stakeholders are eventually with the student support,
Mr. Hyde, from release and our directive, a free school no a buy my students 5 working days to complete on registration Osha as a period enough my students now numbering about between 80 to 100 to complete processes now.
I think that it is a good thing for all. It's a win-win for all because in the scheme of affairs, the school even gave some concessions because initially, not examination wasn't starting on Monday, but because of the situation at hand in engagement and the management are postponing until Tuesday, buying students enough time. Because someone said the first deadline was on the 8th of February, and no more movie the bar 25th. Okay. Now on the 25th, between 25th and now students still as cano. And the understanding is that even between the 80 and 100 people, it will be the only challenge was they have not been able to register because now ports are not closing. But of course, there are still students who are unable to pay. And every situation, every institution, definitely there will always be people who will not be able to pay. Under those circumstances, you would expect that they will resort to alternative means, student loan and other things. But generally, I think the best that can be done was to buy students time, and given the circumstances, 5 days is quite enough to help them make payment.
In the letter GIJ Debaya, Omo making reference to the fact says the students issued threats, they peddled untruths, they insulted management, and they even engaged in picketing and a demonstration. Now, no, it's not supposed to be the first line of helping resolve these issues. As NUGS, are you concerned when students take to this route to solving issues? And how well do students appreciate the efforts of NUGS when it comes to making sure our needs are addressed by our institutions?
Well, it's true. It's a major concern, but we need to also understand that this is a human institution. Now, human beings are reacting to issues differently based on how it gets to them. I think to a larger extent, the students were incensed because the information came rather late and caught them off guard. 5 days to examination. Perhaps if ABI or 1 year information somewhere a month ago, and answer as at the deadline of registration in terms of the 28th, and between that time and now, no one said they have enough time for examination, they will engage. But this short notice actually caught them off guard. Then again, I think getting down to understand the issues, GIJ or culture, a certain culture over the years, they had a bit of a lax system. My students getting close to examination, what me register. The new management is seeking to change the face of GIJ and to institute some stringent measures with or without student support. We are going to do it, and of course, sometimes every human institution, if you put in drastic measures and you don't implement it, well, there will always be resistance to change. But also, I think as a youth leader and a student activist, we also must know when to take responsibility. According to management, all the information by students now engage you more because I mean they have done their part by putting out the information. They would expect that the students could have walked up to them and engaged them. But then again, as I stated earlier, also not because of the absence of SRC and then the interim management committee or campus also ensure that and settle, the fronts in the area disjointed kakra. We can identify a number of issues, but the most important thing is that eventually, and we have been able to solve it. About how students relate to some of these, like I said, and a normal secretary, if there was an SRC, the first thing they would do is to probably contact us at the National Secretariat and we'll probably get involved and help resolve this amicably. But ourselves, just like anybody else, we're caught off guard. But as soon as we get the information, we quickly made contact with the grounds. And in fact, my example, when we decided to hold a presser, choosing the International Press Center, the idea was that while doing the backdoor engagement, if management had failed to listen to us, we're probably going to use Aluta. Aluta is right from the press center, we're going to occupy the campus and do other things. But when our student leaders from across the country, solid, with GIJ 4, say, yes, we are back as student leaders, and say, while going on grounds, students from GIJ and so home because they are the reasons why we have come.
Yeah.
And for that matter, there was a need for us to identify the various forces involved in the demonstration and the noise here and there, so that we will be able to forge a united front. And then my campus want to make a or more all these things. But generally, student demonstrations will not stop. And management issues will not stop. But at every point in time, I would say you're finding a common ground, now finding solutions to our problems.
Mr. Hyde, my final question I may be in your statement I'm releasing concerning GIJ registration, we make a reference to issues ECOSO or Achimota School as far as admission of students are concerned. I say Rastafarians, so muyi omo tino ansana omo begini admission in the Ghana Union of National Union of Ghana Students. As a silence on this matter, because we haven't really had the position of NUGS as far as this matter is concerned. And the students really know they should be under NUGS and their interest should be what NUGS should be seeking. And the first question is, Ebanisai and a NUGS, are you quiet all this while? And what is NUGS' position on this matter?
This is a very sensitive issue. And I believe, sir, even the nation is divided on this subject matter. As far as we are concerned, like press conference here organized, would have given us the platform for people to understand and know our position. Now, it must also be noted, sir, as a National Union of Ghana students, we are a responsible organization. And to out there, no, say cogent reasons as to why we take a certain position on this matter. It's not about where you are standing. It's about finding a solution to the situation of the students. At every point in time, as a leader, me believe in a soft power engagement. You engage by the time I hear out, that was a finding solution because we can say there are different stakeholders. Not can be Achimota can be GS can be, but the students are standing alone. At the end of the day, how are we resolving the issue? The National Union of Ghana students about I can say you're supporting Achimota school, you're supporting GES, you're supporting students in Momuko school. Eventually, not go see and no interested students, or more class and also more discuss. But critically, we must understand, sir, these are students. There's a psychological effect on the actions and discussions going on in public. In any case, you see, I mean, we can say, affect your studies because the way and manner issues now have become a public discourse. The lecturers involved, even lecturers have stated their positions. I mean, even management. Students, and to make here say, we also do our usual things of engagement because when we are coming out, we need to find a solution to an impasse that has divided the nation. And into quiet. But the trustee said, when we go to the press, we shall state our position and possibly, based on the outcome of Nyaya, it may find a lasting solution to the problem. But if I am to put a word to this particular statement, I think that it's high time we become a more tolerable society and also create exceptions to peculiar circumstances, whilst not undermining the values of state institutions and agencies in this country.
And Mr. Hyde, more press conference no, yen share him say daben and I bet me abaso.
See, yeah, during the Monday morning sharp now, a press conference no to speak to not just Achimota issues but recent student issues are cropping up across the country. And you know, I do my best on Monday.
Mr. Isaac J. Hyde, yadase say when yame any achichun komo or happy morning show no so anopi.
But that's no
Yamin Shao so. Isaac J. Hyde, a NUGS president, National Union of Ghana Students president, Yabisan in Semba Kumye no FR, their course. So, as far as GIJ students know, consent. And also, Rastafarianism in Sema, course, no NUGS, as a body, no. Hefa no mojena ewa assembly mo. Nina Sema, or to me, Emma, Adjunture, FR.